Hi everyone and welcome to our YouTube channel. Today I'm going to talk about Klaviyo, especially for beginners. So if you've got a Shopify store or e-commerce store, you're probably looking at Klaviyo. So I'm going to share with you some of the features that I really love about Klaviyo and how you can get started to run a successful store in 2023. And if you're new to this channel, my name is Yovana and I'm from Bumper Leads, and we work with B2B and e-commerce businesses like yours to help you grow your business, save time and money using marketing automation. So let's dive in. And thank you again for joining me. The first thing we're going to talk about when it comes to Klaviyo is the number one reason why we see clients fall in love with Klaviyo is the segmentations and all this data and rich information you can have once you integrate your Klaviyo. So with Klaviyo, we have lists, segments, and custom properties. What is the difference between lists and segments? You can think of lists as a count. It doesn't change. So if you don't have new leads coming in and joining the list, that number is never going to grow. So if you want to keep it more dynamic and if you want to ensure that certain people join these separate segments based on their conditions, such as if I am a new lead and I suddenly purchase, I should be in a customer segment. You should be using segments within Klaviyo. And the custom properties is another really cool feature which allows you to collect more data around your clients, your customers, your leads, and you can do that through forms. So I'm going to show you what that looks like in Klaviyo. You can see the information here. This is our sandbox account, so there's really no connection set up. So I'm not going to show you how to connect your Shopify store. I am assuming you've already done that, but I just want to show you the features that I love when it comes to Klaviyo. So here's a contact that I created. In Klaviyo, you're going to be able to pull in all the website information, how many people are active on your site, how many people edit stuff to their carts, and all of these integrations. These types of integrations don't happen with one single click. Unfortunately, you still need to be a bit more tech savvy, and I think Klaviyo has amazing how-to guides to show you how to do this yourself. But if you need help, you can always reach out. But all of this information, you'll be able to see all the actions or inactions that are taken by your leads or customers. What you want to know is on the right hand side, it will start to accumulate all this rich information, but also average order values and lifetime values of your customers, which is really, really cool. Once you create lists and segments, you can create unlimited lists and segments. I would suggest that you only have maybe one or two lists. So like we have a newsletter list, and Klaviyo usually gives this to us as a default. When you sign up, you're always going to have a newsletter list. You can rename that list, but you cannot have 0 lists in Klaviyo. So once you have one list, you can actually join a form to that list and start collecting information. All of this contact information, if you're collecting phone numbers, if your Shopify or WooCommerce store has phone numbers, emails, any type of consent that is given at the checkout, you'll be able to see that information here. And additional information, this kind of thing can actually just keep growing. So you could hit add and you can create a custom property. You can create anything you want. So if it doesn't exist already, like this, you may actually just create and you go, I want to know VIP status. That's the name of the property. And then for this particular contact, you can say they are on my gold, or tier 1 or tier 2. So once you add, this is now going to be available everywhere. You can create segments based on the VIP status, and you can also use these custom properties on your form as well. And this is where you can delete a profile. You'll be surprised that not many email marketing platforms allow you to remove a contact. So that's really cool. And if they exist more than once, let's say 2 different email addresses, you could actually easily merge that profile. And I think that's pretty much sums up the profile. So it's very easy, nothing really hard about creating a contact. If you want to create new contacts, you can do that manually, or if you can do a bulk import, you would click on create list segments. With the imports, it will ask you for a list, and you can call it an import list. Once you import, you could actually import into a newsletter list as well. If you import into a newsletter list, make sure you don't have any flows set up and live or active, but you can definitely import into a newsletter list, that's for sure. Creating segments is very easy. Again, the segment builder is built to talk to your Shopify and WooCommerce store, and you'll be able to pick, I would say, from working with a few e-commerce stores, the biggest ones that we see being used is what someone has done or has not done, properties about someone. So these are all action type of metrics that you could then find out and build on for your own Shopify store. And you will see all that data. Let's say if you're selling earrings or skincare, all the category product information will be visible here for you to pick and select, which is amazing. Another thing that we just need to be mindful of is that as of this recording, the suppressed profiles, which is a Klaviyo terminology, really refers to unsubscribed or bounced type of emails and messages. You won't be charged for those. The active profiles is everybody who has opted in through a form, or you've imported them and they are receiving your emails. They're counted as active, so they're actually counted towards your plan. You can manually suppress contacts, you can manually unsubscribe people, so you can do that individually inside, and I think Klaviyo has amazing amount of tutorials that can help you do that. But through this example, I wanted to share with you the number one simple funnel or flow that you could create in Klaviyo. And if you have a Shopify store, you probably would have learned that you needed some kind of a pop-up. I would recommend having some behavioral trigger pop-up, and Klaviyo has that. And I'm excited about forms. I think that's one of their best features. And the new feature they have is that you can schedule a form, and this is very rare to see other ecom email marketing platforms offer, because when you are running promotions, you often want to make sure they expire or they're only shown to your VIPs or to a select few leads. You don't want to show all your discounts and promos to everybody. You can easily manage that within Klaviyo, and from there you can trigger your what they call a welcome series, which is when somebody signs up, downloads something, they enter this series, and from there you can start to segment, because you'll start to have rich information about who hasn't purchased, who has purchased. Okay, so let me show you forms. This is the most exciting feature of Klaviyo that I love, which is the ability to really be targeted with your forms. You can have pop-ups, embed, and teaser forms. You can collect SMS data, and you can create many other split forms and a lot of different information. So now that we are in Klaviyo, all you have to do is just go into sign up forms and create. Everything is on the top right hand corner, so you can't get lost. If you need to create a sign up form, you have to go and hit that button. You'll be presented with a few options. As you can see, these are all easy templates that you can just replace images and write over those forms. So that's really cool. And what I have for you is actually an example form that I have created, which is my favorite form, because I haven't seen many other email marketing platforms do something like this and offer it as a native option. Usually you have to be a tech geek to do this. So it's called split form. So it's basically asking for an email opt-in, and then on the second part it's asking for additional information. So in this case it's your date of birth, which is probably not something I would recommend you do as your new leads, but it's also good to have the option, and you can actually build the form from here. So once you click into this field, you could add more properties here. and you can style those all the buttons and everything to be in line with your branding. The style of the form, so you could easily change to full page, flyout, embed, so it's very easy to change that as you're building. The other thing I like is this targeted stuff. So this is the magic, because usually you would have to use very advanced form builders to do this. And so once you have your store integrated, you can do options like I want to show it to all visitors, or I want to just show it to certain profiles, or just in a certain segment. And once I have a certain segment, you can then bring it up and select that segment. So if you have VIP and you want to have a VIP promotion, that's really cool to do right here. You can then exclude certain pages where you don't want this to be visible. Now, it's important to note that you have to do a few steps before you can integrate your form. And you have to click on installation documentations. This is really just to place cookies, place all your API information, which is a software information that softwares need to communicate. It's like a key, a secret key that you need to place on your store and Klaviyo. And then once you do that, you'll be able to go to the top right hand corner and then hit live. As soon as you hit live, that will be automatically published on your website. You don't have to go and do anything else. From here, you could have multiple forms, of course. You'll be able to see conversion rates. These will be percentages and how many people are opting in. So once you have somebody joining via a form, they'll go into a newsletter. By default, Klaviyo has something called a flow, and a flow is a welcome series flow, which is actually by default given to you on your account. Flows are actually automations. They are automatically triggered emails. You can actually go into create a flow, and then you'll be presented with a few recipes that you can create. So when you have new subscribers, you would pick this flow. Then you have from here you have a few that you can select from. So I would select the welcome series for your form that you want to build inside Klaviyo. And once you get here, what I love is that it reminds you, and says, hey, make sure you do a few things before you activate this flow. So you can still build it, but it's going to tell you that you have to make sure that it's that everything's working and connected so that people are joining the list. Once you get in here, as you can see, the templates are already built. It will follow a few sequences that they recommend. It doesn't mean that it's the right thing to do. And once you get in, if you're familiar with designing your emails, I'll just actually jump in there so I can show you and what you can do with emails. Okay, so once you are in here, you'll see this new builder that they've launched actually in 2023, or just after, basically, Q1. So as you can see, this is obviously a placeholder. Everything is a drag and drop, so you could replace images, edit images. If you have connected your Shopify store, you can actually automatically pull in these images. You can control whether you want to show this on mobile only, desktop only, whether you want some conditional logic, which is a bit more advanced. That means if they belong in a certain segment, then kick them out or don't show that piece of content or image to that particular contact. Once you are ready with your design, you can actually go and preview test it. Here it will normally pick the latest or recent purchase or a lead. And when you hit send test, you can type in any email address, as many as you want. And once you hit that, you'll be able to check it in your inbox. Make sure you test on Gmail, Hotmail, just various different mailboxes. Just to be sure. You'll be able to see all this other data. So as you create new, so as we created VIP status, it will show up as against the contact in Klaviyo. The other thing I like, which is a new feature, is that if you like this image, you can actually make it universal, and you can make it so that it's applied everywhere. So you could name this block email banner, and once you create that, it will be available for any email that you want. You can edit as a global edit, or you can unlink it and edit only for this particular email. That will save you time if you basically just create your own email campaign that you are happy with. Then you can always see it as a global banner, a global section that you can then pull in. So it makes life easier if you have very strict rules around branding. You can also import fonts. I think they have a good selection of fonts for emails. That's actually quite a large number of fonts that I've seen. And then if you hit add font, you'll be able to import your custom fonts. Something to be mindful of is your custom fonts are not always going to work on Gmail or Hotmail, which is your recipient's email. So if it does do that, then it will probably revert to Arial or something very. So if you're particular about your fonts, then you can pretty much be safe using any of the Windows Arial type of fonts. Any Google fonts will work. If let's say you want to personalize this and you want to go, I want to greet everybody that comes in, you can do a quick search, go first name, and it will come in and collect that first name. And this is where you would write. You can't really edit inside this widget. The other thing I love about this is that if you have discounts, so if you're offering a 10% discount, you can actually personalize that discount. And I can do another video. I'll probably post another video because it can be quite overwhelming to understand the discount side. Is that you can create a discount in Klaviyo and you can then apply a randomized number for each particular contact that exists in Klaviyo. So that is really cool because you can't, if you're worried about people sharing discounts and abusing or sharing it with their friends and not really signing up, or you can actually control that with Klaviyo. So I'm just going to return to the flow. This is probably going to be the most time-consuming thing you do here. By default, if I click here, you will see that by default they have something called Smart Sending feature. Smart Sending is always on. So this is something that they have implemented in order to ensure that if you have 10 flows, you want to make sure that people only receive 1 email a day rather than 5 emails a day from you. The other thing you need to manually enable, which I would encourage you to do, is this UTM tracking. If you do that, you will start to see these emails being opened you will see this in Google Analytics. Welcome series, email number 1. That will be in Google Analytics. Once you're ready to go live, all you have to do is hit live, or you go into this button top right hand corner and just globally switch everything on as live. What I love about Klaviyo is that it gives you the option to have customized reports. So what I want to show you is if you scroll down, you can go into your dashboard. So the dashboard will be by default. This is the first thing you will see. You can print, you can share it, and you can edit this dashboard. It will have visual charts. It will show you bar charts, line graphs. You can remove data. You can add data to this. You can see it against placed orders. You can check previous periods. You can add another card where you want to make sure that it looks the way you want to have data represented. So you could actually just add as many things as possible, and you don't have to be a geek to know how to use this. So as you have data, which is obviously not here, you'll start to see benchmarks against other peers. So Klaviyo and Shopify have a really big database of different industries or niches in e-commerce space. So you'll be able to see how you're performing against those stores. So it's really, really cool guide. It has everything you need to run a successful Shopify store. The other feature that you need to know about is the SMS. SMSs are now becoming popular in the e-commerce for 2023. It's because SMSs are now quite popular with the younger, depending on what generation you are. Most people are used to DMs and texts, not so much emails. So the younger generation tends to respond better with with SMSs. You can do two-way messaging, new product announcements. I'd say that they're really good as a reminder. There are certain rules that guide SMS setup, so I would probably encourage you to read more about how to set up SMSs, because each country will have different rules around that. And so make sure you also follow the setup guide, because you have to do some things in your settings section before you can start sending your SMSs. And so this is where you can find out all the information you need to maintain your account with Klaviyo. Well, I hope I was able to show you enough features in Klaviyo that you can use for 2023. Feel free to subscribe and like this video if you enjoyed watching it. Share it with your friends if you know someone who has a Klaviyo account. The other thing you can also do is visit bumperleads.com, and you can actually download this guide, which is really a checklist of all the things that you can do to boost revenue with these marketing automation tasks. So this is something you can download on our website, and it's just some ideas that you can then start thinking about for your business. You can also book a time to chat with us as well. So you can download the link. The link's going to be in the show notes, or the YouTube channel notes. And yes, I look forward to helping you grow your business, and feel free to leave your comments if you have any questions. All the best.